Hi, this is John Kurakawa. First off, I'd really like to thank everybody who's liked and commented on my videos, as well as subscribed to the channel. It all really helps, and I appreciate you deeply. So again, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I'm going to really try to put out good clarinet content every week. This week, we're going to talk about my favorite topic, ligatures. Recently, my beloved MO ligature cracked at one of its weakest points. Instead of crying myself to sleep, I thought this would be a really good opportunity to show what I look for in a good ligature, and also to compare and contrast several popular modern models with their inspirations from the past. A good ligature should hold the reed evenly and firmly and promote good response and excellent hold. Response is pretty self-explanatory. By excellent hold, I mean that the ligature helps to keep the sound in the pocket, that is to say, helps keep it focused and consistent in quality for every dynamic, loud and soft. A good ligature should also hold on the mouthpiece, so when removing the mouthpiece, for instance, say when you're switching from B flat to A clarinet or vice versa, it doesn't go flying off the mouthpiece and send your reed into the air. When trying new ligatures, I like to compare them to the best ligature known to humankind, the thumb. As I mentioned in a previous video, Robert Marcellus used to say that if you wanted a really good ligature, go to the morgue and cut a thumb off. Again, I do not recommend this. The thumb fulfills many great requirements for a good ligature. It holds the reed very firmly and evenly, promotes good response, and holds the sound very well. Unfortunately, it also severely limits how many notes you can play on the clarinet. But as a quick reed tester, the thumb's an excellent ligature. So when I'm picking a new ligature, I compare it to the best ligature I own, the cheapest one, my thumb. Finally, if you have a good mouthpiece, a balanced, responsive reed, and your voicing and your airflow are up to snuff, then a ligature can make or break your setup. Daniel Bernard used to say, a bad ligature can spoil a good reed on a good mouthpiece. And last, don't get lost when trying equipment. If your fundamentals are solid, then as my teacher, Ron DeCant, used to say, if it's going to work better, it's going to work better for you right away. So let's get started. I have a few popular designs to try today. Just for reference, my test setup is my usual clarinet, which is a Yamaha CSVR clarinet, and a Witkowski B1 mouthpiece made in this special purple hard rubber, and a well-balanced Vandoran V12 reed that I used for this weekend's performances of the Dayton Ballet. First, as a point of reference, I'm going to use what I've been using since my MO broke, which is an Ishimori in copper, no plating. So the first ligature I have is probably the one that we all started with. It's the humble metal 2-screw ligature. So, what do you think of this? I'll wait. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Yeah, this is pretty bad. This ligature, while it installs really evenly, has a tendency to play the reed really unevenly. Additionally, I really have to bite the response into the setup. It doesn't want to respond at all. So these are junk, right? They didn't always used to be. Let's take an earlier version of that ligature, made in German silver. I don't know if you can see, but the German silver is much thicker and of higher quality. There's also evidence of hand soldering. The other thing I really can't communicate in the video is how easily these screws turn and install. Just amazing. difference is night and day. Sadly, when companies decided to cut corners and make these out of nickel-plated brass and really not care at all about them, the quality really took a nosedive. Sadly, they just don't make them like they used to. The next one I'm going to try is also very popular. It's the Vandoran MO ligature. The MO ligature has a very easy one-screw install. So, Vandoran Knights, hold off on the pitchforks, but I don't like this ligature at all. This ligature forces me to bite. The response just isn't there. If I use the same amount of lower jaw pressure that I used on the German silver ligature, I get nothing. I have to bite to start the sound. Granted, once I do start biting, it doesn't sound too bad, but I shouldn't have to bite in the first place. And once I start biting, I start playing sharper. And again, as my teacher Ron DeCant used to say, everybody's favorite game in the orchestra as the clarinet player is sharp. So do I really need something to make me play sharper? No. Honestly, I think the version of this ligature that was far superior was this, the Vandoran Masters ligature. The Masters ligature has almost identical contact points on the reed as the MO ligature, but it has 2 screws on the back instead of 1. So much better if I simply try to toot a couple of soft G's with a very loose embouchure. The response is in the setup. I don't have to bite or chew the focus or the response in. Compare that to the MO. I don't know why this is. Both ligatures are very light. My theory is that because each band that contacts the reed has a corresponding screw, that this ligature can actually apply more even pressure to the reed and hold it more firmly, thus ensuring better response. Holding a reed loosely does not necessarily equate to better response. In fact, in my opinion, it equates to worse response. Here's another one-screw ligature, though, that I really do like, and that is this beautiful brancher ligature, or as my friend Sarah calls it, the G-string ligature. This ligature has a really easy install, just like the Vandoran MO. But it's a little bit different. Instead, it has 2 long vertical bars that hold the reed very firmly. You know what? I really like it. It has a nice array of overtones, it responds really well, and it plays really easily. I definitely would consider this one, and I would definitely choose it over the Vandoran MO ligature. Next, I'm going to try another really popular ligature, the Didario H. Not bad. It's a pretty good basic ligature. But is it as good as the ligature that inspired it, the Harrison Hertz ligature? Not a chance. Unfortunately, one of the greatest weaknesses of the Harrison-Hertz's ligature is probably the reason why it sounds so beautiful, and that's its fragility. You can see at each of these four corners in the H, as Didario calls it, the metal is very thin. This thin metal allows for greater vibrancy and allows the ligature and reed to vibrate more freely. Unfortunately, this means that Harrisons often break. So what did Didario do? They made the metal thicker. They made the ligature larger, and they reinforced the structural weakness of the original Harrison design. Unfortunately, this had the side effect of dulling the sound a little bit and also dulling the response. So this brings us to the end of the video. If you've watched all of this, thank you for watching. If you want to follow me along in my ligature saga, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all of you for watching. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.